Okay, guys, good evening and welcome to the latest live stream from the FPL family. This is the first we've done with our new webcam. As you guys will know that follow us on Twitter, I've put my hand in my pocket, I've gone and got us a decent webcam. And actually, as for comparison, if you look at the video that's on our Twitter feed on the left-hand side there, we actually look in better health there, don't we? I don't know what's going on, and maybe I need to play around with the settings a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I never wear makeup on these things, but I actually think I need to now. Look at the state of me.
Look like ghosts.
What have you done?
I don't know. I need to change the... And we've got to be careful with leaning on the table as well, because we've got this... The webcam's kind of perched quite precariously on top of the laptop, so... Having paid 90 quid for this
and
webcam...
And I've got to sit really close to you.
Well, we've got to sit quite close, haven't we? Having paid 90 quid for a new webcam... Have I done the right thing here?
Well,
I'm not entirely convinced.
I don't think it's going to stay where it is. I think we're going to move it for the next one.
I think we might have to. Well, we shall see, guys. As usual, bear with us because the technology...
Chaos again.
Maybe we have, I don't know, substituted reliability for quality here, because the one thing we are going to get, is stability. We aren't going to get up, fingers crossed, that nonsense where the black screen turns up and it's a problem with the wireless LAN, right? So this is plugged in, USB to the laptop. Should be all good. And the mics look as if they're up. So I'm going to go straight to the chat, guys, and make sure that you guys can hear us, because otherwise we're on a hide into nothing, aren't we? Let's have a look. Tell us if you can hear us, guys. Sam Lee, make you look extra white settings, guys. You're absolutely right. We do look like ghosts here, but we are trying our best, given it is our first try. So we're going to see. I'm going to play around with the settings before the next stream and see what happens.
Supposed to be the technical one. It's not going well.
I sort of worry. Well, so the guys are saying it sounds great. That's great, because actually this has got two microphones.
We should be in we've got one each.
You're even worse than me. That's not how that works. It's stereo. You don't talk into one and I talk into the other.
Presumably one's on my side.
Oh my god, that's not how it works. There's two. You're literally more technophobe than me. There's two mics, and you're supposed to be hearing us in glorious stereo. Rather than mono, whatever it was before. So it's not like you have a mic and I have a mic. That is not how it works.
What, we can't turn you off?
Oh, God, dear me. Absolutely charming, isn't it? Absolutely charming. So I think the sound is good, guys. Let us know that's good. The video, I think, is all right. It's on the OBS, looks okay. We look a bit pale, but we're going on holiday in a couple of weeks, aren't we? So hopefully that might change. That's one thing to tell you guys about. From the 1st of March to the 11th of March, we are on holiday and we're going somewhere nice and hot. So not only are we going to come back with a bit of a tan, but we're going to see how we go when it comes to videos. So clearly we've got next Sunday, so the weekend coming up, we'll do a GW28 reaction. After that, it's going to be a bit tricky, isn't it, to do videos while we're away. We might be able to do one, depending on what the Wi-Fi's like in the place in Dubai where we're going.
I think we should try.
We should try? What, take my laptop and the camera and everything out?
Well, we don't need to do it quite as fandangled, do we? Can't we just have a...
We could do like a Periscope or something, just on my phone.
Yeah.
We could do that. Or you can go live on your phone on YouTube.
Well,
but you just haven't got all the usual gump, like the live chat and stuff, right?
Well, we could
or the live chat isn't quite as good. We could do that. We'll figure something out, guys, because I would like to. I'd like to do something.
Live from Dubai.
Live from Dubai, the FPL family, still looking pale and ghostly.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully better light in there.
With our two microphones, one each. Brilliant, that is. That's absolutely brilliant. Right, guys, as usual.
Nonsense.
Complete nonsense. Episode 42 of the FPL family. I am Lee, this is Sam, and this is a Game Week 28 preview video. So we're going to be looking ahead to the Game Week coming up. So lots and lots to think about. I actually don't know if we've got time to go through game by game, because there is a lot to discuss. We've got to have a quick chat, and I want to get your reaction on the Chelsea game a minute ago, because we've literally just finished watching that, as a lot of you guys have. Thanks for bearing with us on that Twitter earlier. We were going to do it at 8 PM. I thought actually we would like to watch the Chelsea game. I know a lot of you guys are Chelsea fans, or indeed, Barcelona fans, and will wanted to have watched that game. So we moved it a bit later. Hopefully that's okay. So we wanted to watch the game. We're coming a bit later. I want to talk about Man City in the FA Cup as well, and them getting effectively dumped out by Wigan yesterday, and the kind of what happened there. So lots and lots has happened between last game week. It feels like I've been away for a while, doesn't it? For a long, long time.
No, I don't like it, really.
Well, I was looking back at my game week from last game week and actually thinking, nice to reflect.
Came at the wrong time for you, though, didn't it? This break, I reckon.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like, when you're on a run and you said at half time with Chelsea, half time's coming at the wrong time for them because they're on a roll. I recken that's going to happen to you.
I don't think FPL works in quite the same way.
I reckon this break, it's gonna you've gone off of it again now. I reckon.
Well, listen, I'm looking at my transfer strategy.
Have you got a forward plan? that I
guys, this is something that Sam has just dropped on me. 2 absolute revelations as we're coming onto the stream, by the way. One is you've got a blanket. You've got a blanket. Like, you know when those guys sit on the, like the Man City players, the prima donnas, they sit on the bench with their hot water bottles and their blankets. That is you tonight. You've got a blanket, which is absolutely unbelievable. It's not even that cold in here.
It is cold.
It's not. I've got the heating up on the bed.
You haven't. It's off.
Right, so we've got blankets. The second thing is, Sam decides to tell me that she's got a plan for now until the end of the season, virtually. You know when your chips are going to be played. You've got all the blanks lined up. You've got your wild card, and you know when that's happening. And I, for one, am very, very impressed with it.
Well, I'm not telling you. I'm telling them. But
oh right, I'll have to. Right, okay, very good. Turn my mic off when that happens. Yeah, okay, good.
I'll give you some earplugs.
So that's great, and it's something, guys, that we need to be thinking about, right? We know now what game week 31 looks like. We're pretty clear on who's playing and who's not. I think Spurs Newcastle is the only other game that might be on if Rochdale beat you at Wembley. Can't see it happening, right? So we know who the 8 teams are going to be.
We won't know that until next Wednesday evening.
Yes, we've got a bit of time before we know what game week 31 finally looks like. But we know the 8 teams that are playing. If you've got a free hit chip, absolutely a good opportunity to use that free hit chip. However, well, yes, and we're going to come to that later on. Because there's a game. I think game week 35 also looks like there's going to be a lot of blanks. Could be a use for a free hit chip. So lots and lots. And guys, this is where. How do I put this delicately? This is where the casual players of FPL start to fall away a little bit, because this is where the forward planning, knowing when to use your chips, using your transfers, this is where the cream starts to rise to the top.
Keeping your wild card for the important
Keeping your wild card.
Not doing it to just spite your wife a few weeks back.
Good. So are you actually going to tell me what your plan is between now and the rest of the season?
Yeah, we'll tell you later.
Okay.
When we get to it.
Okay. Well, I've thought ahead to what my transfer for game week 31 might be. I haven't thought about what's going on in game week 37 and 38
you
like
need
you
to think
have.
about game week 31 because you've got 4 transfers between now and 31 when you've only got 8 teams playing. So actually you need to use those 4 transfers really wisely if you're not using a chip in that game week.
Okay, all right. So plenty of forward planning from you, which is absolutely brilliant. So before we get started with that, we're going to say hello to a few guys. So guys, thank you for joining. Jamal is straight in there, first on, and started with the hashtag Team Sam straight away, which
hi
I'm
Jamal.
afraid I can't do.
I bet he's got a plan.
I'll guarantee Jamal's got a plan. Oh yeah, up to
it's the same as mine.
Up to something like 400 followers on Twitter already. Been around for a couple of weeks.
Jamal, let's see if our plans match later.
Jeff Holt is saying we are the in-laws. You know what that's about?
Yeah. That's what he wants to call everyone. I didn't message him back actually because I was in the middle of dealing with a meltdown from my youngest at the time when I read that message. It made me chuckle.
I love that from Jeff. Apparently, so Jeff also watches JNO. So you guys that aren't following JNO on YouTube. He's been around for a long time vlogging about FPL. So follow go and subscribe to JNO's channel. I think Jeff came up with the idea of the flock. So JNO calls his guys now the flock.
Yeah.
And apparently our version of the flock is going to be the in-laws.
The in-laws,
because of the family. Right? I kind of like it. We might go with it. So let's see who else is here.
I thought Jeff was going for a curry. I thought he wasn't joining us this evening.
I thought that too.
Hope you had a nice time at your curry.
Well, the curry was either... curry must have been rubbish. It was either really great and he waffed it down and he's got home early.
To be fair, it is 10 to 10, so you know.
Yeah. Maybe if we were on at 8 o'clock, he might have missed us.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're on a bit late. So that's great. Jeff can join. That's awesome. So MU Fan TV is here. How you doing? JC is here. FPL Red Eagle, thanks for joining. Good to see you. Who else we got? Alex Quintella, 90 degree. I think that means 90 degrees in Orlando, Florida. I think that's what that means.
I love Orlando. That's my favourite place in the world.
So good. We've been there a couple of times, haven't we? We do the whole Disney thing with the kids. It's so good.
Maybe again soon.
I wonder if Alex is a bit like one of these like anti-Mickey people, because the people that actually live in Florida are a bit like, oh god, do I have to talk about the mouse again? They're a bit like that, aren't they?
What?
Maybe not. I don't know.
So who?
I know what you're thinking.
My mind.
I know what you're thinking. No one can hate Disney. I know what you're thinking. Maybe the folks in Orlando, Florida, have had a bit too much of it. Who knows?
Maybe we can come to an FPL blog from there.
Leo, or actually, so every week I've been calling Leo. Apparently his name is pronounced Leo. I think he said to me on either Twitter or on this chat before. So Leo, welcome. If I've said that correctly, hopefully I have. Leo.
You probably haven't.
I probably haven't. But Leo, thank you for joining. Minus 20 here in Finland. Oh my goodness
me. And I've got a blanket.
And you've got a blanket. Leo, I hope you've got a blanket, dude. That's serious.
Minus 20. I don't think I'll be coming live from there anytime soon.
So Zane is here. Says, will you meet some of us here in Dubai? Well, maybe. Well, yeah. Send us a DM on Twitter, Zane.
We're not that.
We're going to be around. We're going to be around Dubai Marina area for a couple of weeks. So give us a shout. Luke Walkinshaw is here. Good to see you, Luke. Michelle's here. Andy Nash is here. Mike is here. Loads of you guys here. It's awesome. We've said hello to Zane. We've said hello to Jeff. Vinyl Richie. So a few of you Chelsea fans are on tonight. So why don't we start with that? Guys, give us your views before we get into FPL. And I said we're going to limit this to just the hour tonight. And we're already quarter of the way through that. We haven't talked any FPL at all. I want your views straight away on, and your guys' views, particularly yourself, Zane and Richard, the Chelsea fans on the live stream. Your views on the Chelsea game. What did you think?
Bit unlucky, I thought Chelsea were tonight.
A bit unlucky.
Yeah. To not come away with, I was going to say 3 points, but the win. Yeah, I think they can go for a change. Actually, coming out of that game, Chelsea can feel quite confident. I would say going into the game in Barcelona, it's never an easy place to go, but they played well tonight. They held them well.
Yeah. I think he got there, and they were saying this on BT Sport. I think they got Conte got his tactics spot on.
For a change.
He went there to really frustrate Barca and pack the middle of the pitch, forcing them wide and then crossing it into Suarez and Messi, who are not the greatest headers of the ball, versus Rudiger and Christensen and people that can head the ball. Christensen, by the way, I thought was fantastic.
That's because you got him out now.
Well, yeah, all right, yeah. How exactly FPL? Except for the mistake, and that's where I think Chelsea were really unlucky, because that was at this level against a team like Barca. You make that mistake, you will get punished. Unfortunately, a lot of people are saying, well, as Pilaqueta dived in, it was a hospital ball across the face of goal from Christensen that led to that goal. Outside of that one mistake, Chelsea, I thought, were the better side. There's all the possession stats are in favour of Barcelona, but Chelsea were very, very good. Willian desperately unlucky first half to hit both posts. I mean, desperately unlucky.
Yeah, should have had two, shouldn't
And actually, Chelsea dominated. So you've got to take the positives from that. It's going to feel like they're going into the new camp now up against it, and hard to argue that they are. I mean, if it wasn't tricky enough already, it is even harder now. But they've got to take some positives from that going into the second leg.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too. And actually, from bringing it back to from an FPL, from a Premiership perspective, they're going into a very hard run of matches now.
2 very, very difficult away games. Yeah.
Yeah, United at the weekend, and then they've got Spurs coming up, and they've got obviously the second game against Barcelona coming up, and there's really tough games for them. So actually, they can take some kind of positives in the last couple of games. Totally. I know it was West Brom and Hull, but to win those 2 games, you've got to win who's in front of you, against who's in front of you. They did that. Then they're going into the game against Barcelona, coming out of that with a draw, which they can feel a little bit disappointed that it was only a draw. I think actually, for a change, Chelsea started to look a bit better. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. So tough for Chelsea to score 2 at the Camp Nou for Man United. I think you're spot on. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Deserved a result today with the chances created. Willian should have been ever present at the end of the season. So this is coming from Richard, a Chelsea fan. So we definitely need to pick up on that point. I thought Willian was sensational, actually. And whenever Hazard plays in that false 9, and it'd be interesting to see, because we've got to bring this back to FPL at some stage, it'd be really interesting to see how he goes into those 2 games, because you've got to go, especially against City. Right? I think they can go to United and they can beat United at Old Trafford. But going to the Etihad, is he going to set up in the same way that he's just set up tonight against Barca with Hazard false 9? And if he does, I think that makes Hazard less of an FPL asset. But I definitely think Willian plays better when Hazard is in that position. I think Hazard benefits when there's a Giroud or a Morata. But Willian, when he plays, has been sensational. I agree with Richard. Got to be a starter now between now and the end of the season, no? I think you're right. Yeah, absolutely. And I thought Willian had a great game tonight.
But do you get him in FPL because of the rotation?
Right. So I think there's 2 reasons why I wouldn't get Chelsea at the moment. One would get Willian. One is the rotation. The other one is the blank game weeks that are coming up. So I'm not going to get in a player to cause me more problems. But if I was going to use a chip in 31, and therefore it doesn't matter who I've got now, why not? Okay. He's going to play him, I think. He's got to play the players that he feels most confident in. And after tonight, that bloke deserves to start. Okay, so question for you then. So you're absolutely right. Chelsea have got 2 very tough fixtures now, away to both Manchester sides. Yeah. Then a fixture which I think is better. Is it Spurs? Oh, goodness me, it's not that much better then. Which I guess is at Stamford Bridge, because we can't have 3 away games in a row. So it must be... There might be one in between. No, it is at Stamford Bridge, though.
Are you sure it's Spurs? I've got to have a look at this.
It's Spurs and Chelsea and Spurs at Stamford Bridge on the 1st of April.
Oh, okay. So, but here's the game that I was thinking. So they've actually got, thanks to the guys at FF Scout on the ticker here, so they've actually got Palace at home. That was the game I was thinking is a bit more winnable, right? So the 2 United City, Palace at home, which, you'd have a Chelsea asset for, absolutely. Then a blank, then Spurs. So my question to you is, are you sticking on Alonso, or are you selling Alonso or keeping? Because that is a big hot topic right now in FPL.
I hate telling you my trade secrets.
Don't tell me. I put my fingers in red. Go on,
no, it's fine. I'm actually going to sell him.
You are going to sell him? Okay.
Only because I just realised you can see my plan.
I'm not looking at your notes. We're going to talk about it in the next 20 minutes.
I'll shock you at the end with my skills.
Oh wow! You are still bitter about me and the wildcard thing, aren't you?
I am.
You're still really bitter about that. Every week you talk about that.
No, I am going to get rid of Alonso. I've got a plan for the 4 substitutions that I'm going to make over the next 4 game weeks.
Okay.
Which will allow me to field 10 players in game week 31.
10 in 31. I think that's a good number.
Which will then allow me, will mean I've lost some of my really big players between now and 31.
Yeah.
However, I have my wild card left.
Okay.
So I can
you can reverse
it
some of that stuff. Okay.
Again in 32.
Okay. So Amonit is saying Alonso is FPL gold. Always stick. Don't sell.
No. So at the moment, and what I haven't yet decided is which order the 4 players that are going to leave my team. It may very well be that Alonso stays till nearer the end.
Okay.
The last one's going to kill me, but it will happen. So Alonso, but then I'm also looking at him thinking, do you know what? I can't see Chelsea keeping a clean sheet against United. I can't see Chelsea keeping a clean sheet against City. I can't see. Well, maybe keep
31, no game.
Can maybe see one keeping one against
Palace at home is the only game you want him, surely.
Yeah, but then he's got a blank in 31. And then he comes back from that game and plays against Spurs, and I don't see him keeping a clean sheet there either. Okay. I'm at a stage with him where, and actually his value has decreased so much now that I only stand to lose 0.1 getting him back in again.
Okay.
Which is why it becomes a more.
So you do want him back at some stage after the Spurs game.
So this is why it's going to be Alonso that loses his place rather than Otamendi, because Otamendi I stand to lose 0.4 and I couldn't get him back again.
Oh, you're going to lose Alonso over Otamendi.
Because Otamendi.
God, blimey, that's brave.
Go on. Because if I lose Otamendi, it's 0.4, and I can't.
We're at a point of the season where team value.
But I can't get it back.
God, blimey.
And so when I'm going to play my wild card to get these players, potentially to get the same players back in again in 30, whenever it is, I've played my wild card. Tell you later. At that point, I need to think about, can I get these players back in? So the likes of Alonso, yes I can. It's only 0.1, it doesn't matter.
All right. So we'll come to your big transfer strategy more towards the end of the stream. But
yeah, I think Alonso will go.
For me, keeping Otamendi and losing Alonso is a big call. It's a really big call. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of the guys are saying Otamendi is trash. Jamal is saying you wouldn't want Otamendi back. Vinyl Richie is saying Otamendi now rotation risk because they've got 4 centre backs.
That is also an issue.
There's a lot to consider there.
There's a lot to consider.
Okay. All right. So Mats is saying at FPL family, this is the new cam. It's kind of blurry. You're right, Mats. This is the new cam, and we discussed this.
It was blurry then.
Was it blurry? Is it because of the way that we're moving? This is the new cam, Mats. So this is the one that I put my hand in my pocket and paid 90 quid for.
I think it's because it's on the computer.
Do you think
it moves.
So? That's got nothing to do with it. It's to do with the frame rate, isn't it?
But isn't it moving?
Yeah, but it's to do with the frame rate and the fact that we're in a pretty dark room and it's the night, so you've got to switch on the camera's
what we need to do
light compensation feature.
Because to be fair, it only came out of the box before we went on tonight.
Yeah.
So what we need to do over the next couple of days is sit down and have a play with it and work out where the light's best.
Yeah, and Mats, you are a regular to this stream. You will know by now that technology is not exactly our forte. So bear with us on this stream. I will have a look at the settings. The one thing that we can guarantee. I don't make any guarantees when it comes to technology, but we're hoping that we're not going to get that interference that we had before where the camera was dropping out and I'd have to change the screen. So hopefully this is a good solution, Mats. But you're right, it is a bit blurry. We do look a little bit ghostly, whiter than normal, but we shall try and endeavour to change around the settings and be better.
And if not, we'll wear makeup for next one.
If not, I'll put a bit of blusher on or something.
We'll dress you as
what would you wear? I wouldn't have a clue. Blusher, mascara?
Put some foundation on.
Bit of foundation. Wonderful. Right, let's get into.
Or some fake tan.
Won't need that after being to Dubai, hopefully.
Well, that's true.
So let's talk about the upcoming game week. So, and Amonit is saying any Poli. Amonit, I was so busy trying to sort this camera out. I haven't even thought about poll, dude. I haven't even thought about polls. Great shout. So tell us, guys, in the live chat who your captain's going to be. And as I see it coming through in the live chat, I will write it down, and we might go a bit old school and think about who our captain's going to be. I think there's some obvious choices for captains this game week, but we'll come to that a bit later on. Where do you want to start with the game week? We haven't got time to go through every game, so I'm not worried too much about kind of Brighton v Swansea potentially, but.
Brighton and Swansea.
Brighton and Swansea. But I do want to talk about some of the bigger games, because there's some massive games, particularly on Sunday, right?
Well, I think it's the other thing to say about this game week is obviously it's an elongated game week because it starts on Saturday, doesn't end until Thursday.
That's right, because it's Arsenal City in the Carabao Cup Sunday, and then exactly the same fixture Thursday night, right?
In the league.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just worth mentioning that. Before we start talking about it. But yeah, you're quite right. There's some massive games this weekend from a fantasy point of view, which see the bigger teams playing against each other, and therefore the more expensive fantasy assets playing each other.
Yeah.
So obviously we've got United playing Chelsea. We've also got Arsenal playing City. And then I suppose even in that bracket you can put Liverpool and West Ham, because there's a lot of people that got West Ham assets. Out there.
So let's start with United and Chelsea then. So guys, tell us what you think the result of that game is going to be. Where do you see the FPL points in United versus Chelsea? Is this the game where Sanchez makes his arrival, if you like, because he's been pretty subdued up to now?
No,
right?
This is the game week where Liverpool and Spurs benefit from everyone else playing out boring draws.
You think so?
No, I hope so.
You hope so? Yeah, well, I hope so as well.
What do I think is going to happen?
Can you see that being a 0-0, that game?
Oh, no. I don't think it will be a 0-0.
Really?
No.
I absolutely can see that.
Can you?
Yeah, I can see that being a 0-0. So Chelsea set up in the same way that it did against Barca, which is possible away at Old Trafford. I don't think they should, but if they go Hazard false 9 and look to kind of frustrate United, I don't see why they would do that. I think they should go for it. United are well known to park the bus against the big teams.
Conte versus Mourinho 0-0.
I can see it.
Really?
I can see that. I can see more of a 0-0 there than Arsenal City. I can see goals in that all over the place. But Chelsea United,
no.
I don't think it's going to be 0-0. But
Someone
I can
will win that game.
it wouldn't surprise me if it's a 0-0, right?
Someone will win that game.
You think so? Go on then, give us your views.
I don't really know. I don't really know who I think is going to win that game. If you'd have asked me before tonight, I'd have probably said a United home win, just about. Actually, off the back of what's happened tonight, I think Chelsea will feel more confident. See what happens with United tomorrow, of course, because they've still got their Champions League game to play tomorrow.
Don't you think United are a bit out of sorts as well at the minute, though? I mean,
yes,
the whole Pogba
thing,
he's being dropped, and now he's
ill.
He's ill and he's injured and he's not available and stuff. Lukaku's kind of actually scored a couple of goals recently, so not look too bad. Sanchez far from hit the ground running, although could have been different because he got the penalty a couple of game weeks ago, but in the last game week didn't look amazing. So those of us that have had a punt on Sanchez,
you still got him,
me included. I have for now, and I'll talk about my transfers later on, but Sanchez is not one of them right now. It's possibly a -4 for somebody. But the key transfer I'm looking at this game week is to bring Harry Kane in.
Right, okay, yeah.
But I don't know. I can just see Mourinho parking the bus and getting a draw. The way that where United are in the league right now, for them to consolidate that position and just play out a draw, I can see it.
Okay.
Potentially.
But 0-0, I don't see it being 0-0.
Okay. So if you think the goals are going to come from somewhere, you think potentially a home win, if anything?
No, I think potentially a away win.
Away win. Okay. So you're not going to play Phil Jones? It doesn't look as if he's fit anyway, by the way.
I don't going to play Phil Jones. And I don't know what I'm doing about it, though. So basically,
I know exactly what you're doing.
No, because this game has really confused me because and that's why partly I just don't want anything to do with it because it's one of those fixtures where I can't work out what I think is going to happen, and I actually think anything could happen because they're both not in that great form. But Chelsea are coming off the back of a really good performance tonight, which will take confidence from. I don't know. I think I want to stay out of it.
It's a tough one, isn't it? And I don't think there's too many FPL big hitters flying around. I mean, Alonso, clearly a lot of people are going to play Alonso. If it were me and I had Alonso, I think I'd be playing him this game week. Never mind transferring him out. I think I'd be playing. Honestly, I would. I mean, I can see that being a low-scoring game, that. If Jones was fit, would I play him? I think I possibly would, but I've got a choice to make between Jones and Chilwell, and Chilwell's actually at home against Stoke, and Stoke are terrible away, so I quite fancy Chilwell. If not for a clean sheet, then maybe for some attacking returns in that, if he plays. So the fact that Jones is injured, and I'm not thinking about using a transfer to take him out because I've got Chilwell to come in. So I don't know. That game could easily be 0-0. Easily be 0-0. But let's see what happens. Arsenal versus City, on the other hand, which is the game on the following Thursday. Now, listen, there's a lot to happen between now and when that game plays, including those guys playing each other in the Carabao Cup final, which could have an influence on the Premier League game. Do you think that Arsenal City on Thursday, the 1st of March, which seems a long time away now, you think that's a 0-0 again, or do you think full of goals?
Goals.
I do. I think Arsenal are a different proposition at home, by the way, but I still think both teams like to attack. I still think Arsenal's new mentality of Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang is to attack. They want to play football. City will counter-attack. Arsenal are also very good at counter-attack. I can see goals there. Could definitely see goals there. They might cancel each other out, right? But I can see goals.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm at the moment, the way that my team is set out, it's very City heavy.
Yes.
Otamendi, Sterling, KDB.
Yeah.
Will I play Otamendi? Don't know. Will I play KDB and Sterling? Absolutely.
Yes, I think I would as well. What's your without getting too much into your transfer strategy, what's your medium-term thinking around your Man City assets? Because clearly no game week 31. Keeping Sterling and KDB?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm not. So this is
very non-committed.
No. So this is what I haven't yet firmed up in my mind as to which players, because I know that eventually my wild card is going to reverse everything that I do over the next couple of game weeks. It's just a case of getting to game week 31, and it might be that I don't think I'm going to make a transfer in game week 30.
Okay.
So I'll have 2 for 31, but
Okay.
I'll make 2 and I'll get rid of 2 of my big hitters, probably KDB and Kane, so that I can play decent. I've got some decent options from the games that are available.
Okay, all right.
And then I'll get them back in again straight after. Interesting
point that Jeff's just made. Actually, Thursday night might be an anticlimax.
It might be.
Do you know what? There's a good point in there, and I remember going to the Emirates on a. When was this? This was maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago, and they had a game against West Brom at home. And I appreciate this is going to be a bigger game and therefore a better atmosphere potentially.
What were you doing going to the Emirates?
It was a work thing. Do you remember? I went with work, and I got invited to go there. And I sat more or less right next to the West Brom fans. And actually, there's pretty good banter between the two fans. It was way more exciting than the match. The match was terrible.
I think Arsenal
won 1-0. I think Sanchez scored. It was really bad. And I remember the Emirates being like half empty, and there was a lot in the press about, it's a library again. They've not got the atmosphere, and they were bang on about that. But it was a Thursday night. Everyone's, you can't get too excited about Thursday night football. Now at the Emirates, they've got a bit used to that this season, haven't they? Thursday night. That was not a dig. That was not a dig, by the way. I just
a cheeky dig at the Arsenal.
That is a hashtag just saying. Thursday night, can't get used to it. But I think Jeff makes a valid point. That Thursday night could be a bit of an anticlimax because it's just a weird night for that game to be played. It's a weird time to play it, right?
It could be.
But goals. You think goals?
I just don't. It's City. It's not like Arsenal have got to play, I don't know, Stoke.
I was looking at some of the stats. So one of the things I'm considering is how do I get Kane in my team? We'll talk about transfers later on. But Aguero might be the mate weight for that. Now that seems very, very counterintuitive given that he's just scored 4 goals at home in the previous game. A lot of people transferring Aguero in, and I think Kane is the top transfer out this game week, but I'm absolutely looking to do the opposite. I think Kane's fixtures look amazing. And Aguero's stats away from home are not as good as when he's at home.
No.
So actually, I think I don't remember reading something like the underlying stats don't look as bad. The underlying stats for Aguero away from home are okay, but the Sanés and the Sterlings and some of these other more creative players, their creativity dips, and therefore Aguero doesn't get as many chances, doesn't score as many goals. So City generally away from home are not as prolific as they are at home. Not saying much because at home they are ultra prolific. It's something like 4 goals a game average or something bonkers, right? It's 3 point something. So do I want, given coming up in the fixtures, City have got Arsenal away, Chelsea at home, which is tricky, Stoke away, blank, Everton away. So one game at home to Chelsea in the next 5. It's Aguero. I know I could get burnt, but then if you look correspondingly at the Tottenham fixtures, Palace, Huddersfield, Bournemouth, and then we assume a blank, right? For those 3, if you've not got Kane and you're not considering a Spurs double up, which I am actually, those 3 you could fall really behind if you've not got Kane for those three, in my opinion. But it does feel counterintuitive to sell Aguero right now. But that is absolutely what I'm looking at.
You're thinking about Eriksen again?
I'm absolutely thinking about Eriksen, yeah.
I thought you would be after,
we might talk about that in a sec.
After Juve the other night, because you were loving him.
We might talk about that in a sec. So let's talk about, we're kind of going backwards here, but let's talk about Palace versus Spurs then, because I want to talk about captaincy options in that game. Palace shipped 9 goals in the last 4 game weeks. So looking defensively pretty frail. We all know about Kane's underlying stats. If you've not gone to look at Kane's underlying stats, I've written them down here. Something about away from home, he's far better in terms of area touches, in terms of shots on target. 4 of his 10 plus points hauls have come away from home as well. So this game, I know we're all talking about, and I see some of you guys in the chat saying it's all about Salah captain. It's some of you thinking Firmino. Definitely don't rule out Kane for captaincy options this game week. Absolutely. So what are you thinking about that Spurs game?
I'm captaining Kane.
You're doing Kane this game week?
Of course.
You're going back to the Sam of the beginning of the season where it was always captain Kane.
It's time to give the band back to the boy. And he can have it for the next 3 games until the blank, which we're going to have because we're going to have to beat Rochdale. And then he can have it every week until the end of the season, including the triple captain, which will come up in game week 37, I think.
All right, okay. Got it all planned out. That's very good.
Yeah, Kane for life.
Kane for life.
Yeah.
So clearly expecting an away win in that game, right?
If we don't beat Palace... I'll be off the back of the performance that we put in on Tuesday evening, minus the first 10 minutes where I don't really know what happened. We just kind of got a bit of stage fright. But we looked really, really strong.
Yeah.
We looked really good. I just think that there's a real positive atmosphere. The boys have had a few days off this week.
Okay. Yeah.
A couple of them, they've been away and doing bits and pieces, and I think they'll come back refreshed for that game on Sunday. And
more to the point, I don't think Palace look great either. I think it's no win in 3 or maybe 4 for them. So they haven't won for a while. And I actually think they're missing Zaha, aren't they?
I think we seem to play better on a Sunday than we do on a Monday. So the game was originally scheduled for Monday. Was originally scheduled for Monday night. But it's moved because of the Rochdale game, so it's now Sunday lunchtime.
So 12, it's a midday kickoff.
Yeah, because obviously we've got the 3 games because of the cup final in the afternoon.
I've watched games at midday before though when they do that.
It's not far to go though, is it, Palace?
No, it's not, but it almost feels a bit like too early. I don't know. So I remember seeing 12 o'clock kickoff games before and they've not been great games.
No.
But I still think the stats are there for Kane to put on a show against a pretty poor Palace backline.
Yeah, and I think, Palace... I feel a bit bad for Palace this season because they have real potential, I think, in that team. And there's some...
You think?
Yeah, I do. I think there's some really good assets there, but they haven't been able to keep them all fit. When they have had some of them back, the others have got injured. There's just not been a consistency within the team for them this season, and so nothing's worked for them.
Benching Miljovic this week.
Oh, I've been bitten on that there.
He's bound to get a penalty again, isn't he?
Bound to get a penalty because probably Sanchez or Aurier or somebody will do something ridiculous and he'll get a penalty.
Right, let's see what you guys are saying then in the chat. So Jamal is saying I'm captaining Kane too. So all right, so there we go. There's definitely a case for Harry Kane there. Absolutely.
Well, hang on. I said it and there was no case for it. Jamal says it and there's a case for it.
No, listen. Excuse me. I was just saying the stats look good and don't overlook Kane. When we mentioned the fact that I haven't got a poll this week, everyone was just like, oh, Salah. And listen, guys, Salah, I think he got a 15-pointer when we went to West Ham earlier in the season. So coming to Anfield, you've got to think and hope that, from our perspective, from a Liverpool perspective at least, that Salah's going to score points. But definitely don't rule Kane out. And Kane is always a great captain. He's never a bad captain pick, but this game week absolutely could be a good pick.
Taking a bit more of a differential as well.
I guess he kind of is. Yeah.
Don't know why.
MU Fan TV is saying Lee finally has some notes. Yeah, they're pretty thin. MU Fan TV compared to what Sam's written down in your thesis over here.
Notes. I think
there's like 4 lines worth.
There's about 20 words on a Apple note.
You see that one at the bottom as well. Vardy in great form. Brilliant. What insight from FPL family once again.
Why are people on Team Lee anyway?
So Vinyl Rich is saying Palace without a keeper. They got keeper troubles. I thought they signed a new one. I thought they got somebody in. Let's see what else you're saying. Shawnee B91. So thanks for joining, X Shawnee. Firmino worth a look as well. Yeah, absolutely. We shouldn't be ruling out Firmino as well, who I think is in a lot of people's teams at the moment, along with Salah. And I think the Liverpool triple up, and again we'll come to transfers in terms of what you're doing with Alonso later on, but the Liverpool triple up,
it's on for me.
Looks on, doesn't it? It looks like of all the teams and all the options for the next sort of 3 to 4 weeks, the Liverpool triple up looks good. The fixtures look good, and they play 31. For me, it's just a choice of do you go Firmino and Salah, which I think most of us have got, and then a Van Dijk or Robertson, or indeed a Karius, which we'll come to later, or do you go Mane and go all out attack?
Well, I've got a keeper that will play in 31, so I won't be getting a keeper. Right,
okay, we'll talk about that in a sec. Shawnee B is saying 3 to 4-0 Spurs. He's saying it's going to be a whitewash there at
that would be
Park.
Lovely.
What else are we saying? Varner Wishy both injured the keepers at Palace, so they have got a keeping issue. You guys probably know more about that.
Imagine how happy I'd be all day Sunday if that happened.
So Andy Nash, thanks for joining, Andy. Andy's saying, hearing there's a keeper crisis at Palace. Apparently Hennessy is injured in training today and Speroni's still out. Okay, so there you go. So, having said that, it was the Newcastle keeper they got in from from Sparta Prague. Played an absolute blinder, didn't he, against United?
Well, yeah, you know what always happens when you're playing a keeper that's not really ever played. They always have a blinder.
They just turn up and have like a worldie.
Yeah, because they never get a chance. They'll turn up and he'll save pain all day long. Probably save 3 penalties or something.
Any Fan TV is saying, who would you go for between Mahrez and Mickey? So, I think I got some views on that, but let's have a look at the Leicester game for this game week and talk about where they're going, because I think they got a nice fixture, if I remember right.
They've got Stoke.
Yeah, Stoke. So let's talk about this, because we were talking about Liverpool assets, we were talking about game week 31, we were talking about we're not going to get any players in if they've not got a 31. And that generally seems to be the strategy right now.
That's my strategy.
He says, looking to get Kane in. However, let's not overlook Leicester City. I mean, the next 3 fixtures for Leicester look really, really sharp.
Well, that is true, but I don't know. Unless you're planning see, this is where the
Stoke, Bournemouth, West Brom. I mean, that is just don't get any better than that for those 3. And I guess there's the blank, yes, but then after that, Brighton. So,
but this is where your strategy.
Right,
this is where you have to, as a fantasy manager, you have to have a strategy, because if you're planning to free hit in 31, then absolutely, I would 100% be getting on Leicester.
If you're planning to free hit in 31, get Leicester. Yes, I agree with that.
That's what I would do.
But do you not think a lot of people are free hitting game week 30? I think the general feeling is the best time to play that free hit is game week 35.
Correct, which is why I'm not getting a Leicester player now.
Which is why we're not going Leicester.
And so I'm.
Do you think they're being overlooked though? You can't ignore those short 3 games there. That's phenomenal for Vardy and Mahrez.
So for me, it wouldn't be Mahrez though. It would be Vardy.
Right. Okay.
Because Mahrez at the moment, I just don't trust the bloke. I know that it's been a long time since the transfer window closed. I know that he's made up and it's all, hugs and kisses.
Yeah. Well, apparently so, yeah.
But we all know what Mahrez is like. We all know that Mahrez is, when he's in the shop window, when he wants to move, when he thinks people are looking at him, he is absolutely brilliant.
So how would you fit Vardy in your team? Aren't you? And I'm assuming you're going to keep Firmino and Kane. You're not going to get rid of either of those guys. So if you wanted Vardy in, whether you are or whether you aren't, how would you look to change the dynamic of your team? You'd need to find 3 or 4 million then.
I'm not. So I'm not.
You're not thinking of doing that.
No, because of the way my strategy is working towards 31. However, the question was Mickey or Mahrez. For me, I'd go Mickey over Mahrez.
Would you? I mean,
hang on.
Mkhitaryan. So Mkhitaryan, they're not playing, right?
Arsenal. No, I'd go Mahrez.
Who did you think we were talking about?
Millie.
Millie.
He's got a game in 31.
Millie as in Miliovic?
Yeah.
No. So it's Mickey.
If we're talking about Mkhitaryan at Arsenal, then I would go Leicester, and I'd probably go Mahrez.
If you've got to pick between those two.
Yeah. But if I had to choose a Leicester player, I'd want Vardy over Mahrez.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what's being said on the chat. So I think Amonit is saying too much focus on game week 31 may result in bad next 3 game weeks.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. I mean,
then it depends who you've got, doesn't it? Already in your team.
Yeah, it does.
That's why you have to plan it.
So let's take a look at. So I tweeted this out not so long ago. We're going a bit off piste here, but I tweeted this out not so long ago. I don't think my team is in terrible shape for game week 31. So I've got a couple of Stoke players in there which are going to help. I've got my 3 Liverpool in place, so that's done.
So that's 5.
So I've got that. I've got my Miliovic in there.
6.
I think Palace are playing.
Yeah.
Foster's in goal, so I'm not
7.
expecting much there, but he'll get points. Wilson's playing, so I've got 8. So it's kind of like, I'm probably not gonna get rid of Sterling because I kind of.
Sorry, I've got my glasses on and I'm looking at that. Can't see their name.
Yeah, so Aguero's going to go for Kane probably in the next 3 game weeks.
So you're in a much better position than me because you've already got 8 players there that are going to play in game week 31.
Yeah.
So actually, in the 4 transfers that you've got, you can afford to waste one.
Well, it's not about wasting, isn't it? It's about how do you, as Amwin is saying, how do you maximise those 3, right? So everyone's kind of planning for 31. I am too, but I feel like I'm a bit of a step ahead.
Yeah.
So I've got someone like Sanchez in there who I don't fancy right now. Do I go for a solid-ish 31 pick like, I can't do Liverpool, so maybe I do an Everton, do a Siggy or a Walcott?
Why would you not go Eriksen?
Or do I go, well, for 31 reasons? For game week 31. So what you're saying is you go Eriksen for the 3 game weeks, knowing that he's got the blank.
But then you've also, as you've already just said, you've already got 8 players that are going to play in 31.
So that's,
you can use your transfers to get in 2 or 3. You can get Eriksen and still have a full 11 out for 31.
Yeah. So the way that I'm looking at my team right now is I'm thinking I'm going to be, and I don't think we should get hung up on getting 11 out for game week 31.
No,
There's going to be a lot of people that are not going to get 11 out, right? So I don't think, guys, if you've got a different opinion, we'd love to hear it. I don't think you should get hung up on getting a full team out for 31. If you can, happy days. If you're playing your free hit, happy days.
So I'll have 10,
you, but
to get 11, I'd have to take a hit. And I'm not taking a hit because I don't think I'll get the returns from them.
Yeah, okay.
So I will, at best, I'll have 10 players playing.
Okay, all right. But I'm with what's being said on that. I think, the way my team is right now, Aguero to Kane for the next 3. Sanchez probably to Eriksen. But I like Mahrez as a differential. It could be Siggy as a massive differential, given that he's got the 31 as well. Game, yeah. So he's got the game.
Or Walcott?
Well, the other thing I'm looking at is, we just discussed the Man City fixtures and we've talked about their away form and they've got the blank. Is a Sterling to Walcott such a terrible idea? Or Sterling to Siggy? I hate to have a team with no Man City players. It frightens the life out of me. But I just wonder whether, this is differential territory. This is the time to be differential. I don't know.
You could do your Sterling transfer. If you're doing it to Walcott, you can do Sterling to Walcott at the end of 30. For 31, and fix it again in 32 if you're really unhappy with it.
Yeah, lots to consider, guys. But I think it's absolutely right that we do the planning now. I mean, between now and the end of the season, there is so much in terms of blanks and double game weeks that you've got to have a plan. You've got to think it through. Even if you don't know, particularly exactly the sort of players you want to go for, knowing that you want triple Liverpool, knowing. You might want an Everton midfielder or something. This is all good stuff, right?
So this is the thing. I haven't yet decided on which players will be coming in. I haven't actually yet fully, decided which players are going out. I've got a list of about 7 potentials that could leave my team over the next 4 game weeks in prep for 31. The order in which they go and the ones which just stay and go benched for that game will depend on what happens over the next few game weeks.
Yeah, okay. Let's see what you guys are saying. So Matt's is saying this looks better for game week 31 already. Thanks, Matt. Than I ever will reach. I'm sure, Matt. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. I only have Salah, Daniels, and 2 rubbish players. I'm not going to say what he said, but 2 rubbish players: Calvert-Lewin and Crouch. I would be worried about that because Calvert-Lewin and Crouch, probably not going to start, right?
But so you've got 4 free transfers between now and then, or you play your free hit. Have you still got your wild card? Because if you've still got your wild card, you could do free hit in 31 and wild card for 35.
Yeah, potentially. So Matt's, if you were in Matt's position, you'd be thinking now about getting as many 30. You're not looking at Leicester and Spurs right now. No. You're looking at how can I get a few out for 31 if he's not playing his free hit.
Because he's actually not far away from me. I've got 6.
Okay.
6. That will play in 31 at the moment.
Okay.
So,
All right, we're rapidly running out of time, guys. So why don't we run through the rest of the fixtures and where you think the points are going to be? Do you think Liverpool beat West Ham at Anfield?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yes, I do too. I think we're in good form. Home form in particular looks very good. I thought we were phenomenal against Porto, by the way. I don't know if we've done a vlog since that Porto game, but I was very happy with that.
No, we haven't.
Result.
We had a great Valentine's Day, didn't we?
Valentine's night was great, wasn't it? Yeah, we just sat in. Both of us were not very well. We were ill for a start, and we watched the Liverpool game, which was
sat
great.
on opposite sofas, being poorly, and watched Liverpool.
It was great.
Other fancy points, right? Bournemouth only some after last week's atrocities. They've got Newcastle. Surely I'm getting some points out of my Bournemouth players there.
1 clean sheet in the last 11 away games for Newcastle, so they are not good on the road at keeping clean sheets. I'd expect something for Bournemouth. I don't think they're going to go crazy, but I'd expect something for Bournemouth.
I'll be playing my Burnley defender this week as well against Southampton.
Plus Bournemouth, by the way, if you've got their players, stick, right? Absolutely stick. They've got the 31, so you're not transferring out Bournemouth players right now. Yeah.
Burnley, I'll be playing Ben Mee this week against Southampton.
Okay.
Other points, Leicester and Watford could be. Everton and Watford could be a good game this week. Could be an interesting Saturday night game. I think that one.
Yes, it could be. It could be.
Two teams that aren't necessarily on the best form, but that need to be. So they both need to start.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm using that game as a bit of a watch and see for the Everton players, right? Because of
Watford. For 31.
Of course, yeah, Watford play as well. Yeah, Watford play as well. I guess for me, I'm kind of keener on the Everton players. I don't know why. That is. I think I just for some reason
more trustworthy about it.
Everton they're just maybe a bit more explosive potentially, like the Walcotts and the Siggy's is kind of proven FPL player, isn't he? So
yeah,
I want to I want to watch that game. It's on TV, so that's good. I want to watch that. A lot of those Everton players will be on trial for maybe the Sanchez replacement in my team. Maybe.
What big boots to fill they've got.
Hey, listen, he's not got big boots to fill right now. He's not been a very good punt over the last couple of weeks.
It's funny what Fantasy League does for us, isn't it? We're talking about getting rid of Sanchez for
for Decore. It's bonkers, isn't it? Yeah, it's bonkers. Just a quick word on Nias as well in that game. So if you're looking for another player that's going to play 31, you want some money out of that front line. If
Nias plays at the moment, aren't they?
Oh, they're out there, are they?
Yeah, they're out there doing warm weather. No, well, they'll obviously be back because the weekend.
Oh, yes, of course.
They're out there for warm weather training at the moment, okay. I saw.
Okay, all right.
Certainly is warm weather.
So I'm kind of keeping my eye on that game to see which Everton players come to the fore, which of them I might want to consider for my game week 31 side.
Yeah, okay. I think I agree with you, yeah.
Okay. A couple of people saying Daniels is overrated on the stream here. Daniels, you're a big fan of Charlie Daniels, aren't you? And he plays 31. Come on, guys, what's not to like?
These people. It's blown my mind. Daniels is overrated.
Jamal comes back with, I don't believe Daniels is overrated. He's had over 130 every season in fantasy. There you go.
I tell you what.
There you go. Just when you need it. Just when you need it, Jamal pulls a little stat out of the bag like that.
He is an absolute legend, that man.
Right. So I think we
need him to do a guest appearance.
How are we going to do that? A Google Hangout or something? I don't know. This is something that we're thinking about for next season, by the way, guys. But this is FPL Family 2.0, which is all thoughts in my head for next season in terms of guest appearances and stuff. But for this season, let's focus on what we've got to do. And with that in mind, I want you to start talking about, in the last 10 minutes or so we've got, what your thoughts are between now and the end of the season, because it sounds like you've got a plan, so talk us through it.
Well, I have got a plan, but only because I'm a woman and I like to have things planned. You know what I'm like? Plan everything.
Former teacher as well, so it's all spreadsheeted, I assume.
Sort of. Right, so I've got 4 free transfers between now and game week 31, so I plan to use them to transfer out players that won't play in 31. So
this is going to be really confusing unless we've got a graphic, which we haven't. So just give us your high-level strategy of what your plans are for 31,
right?
And then when you're going to play your chips.
Yeah. So for 31, I've got currently, if I just went with where we are, I've got 6 players who'll play. My strategy, therefore, is to use my 4 free transfers between now and then to bring in 4 more players who will play in 31. So I'll have 10 players.
So you've got 6 31 players right now.
Yes, Firmino, Salah, Ibe and Daniels, Miljokovic and Ben Foster.
Okay, and who are the 4 that you are ditching between now and 31?
It will be between... One that will definitely go will be Ayew.
Let's have a look at your team.
So Ayew will definitely go from Swansea at that point, because I probably won't get him back again after game week 31.
Do you think getting rid of Swansea right now? They're on the up.
We're not going to necessarily get rid of him right this second.
Okay.
I haven't decided on the order, but he will go. Alonso will probably go. Probably Ben Mee, because I'll need another defender to play in that game week.
Mm-hmm.
He'll go. Maybe Otamendi, depends on what happens with him. And maybe at the very end of game week 30, before game week 31, I might remove Kane. So
JC, by the way, is saying they're playing mind games. Me and you. I think that's what he means, me and you.
Oh.
It's proper mind games going on here.
No, this is the truth. I have actually got a serious plan. Right, so that's fine. So get rid of I might get rid of Kane for 31. Game week 32, I'm going to play my wild card.
Are you? Okay.
Because then I could get rid of all these nonsense players that I don't really want, that I've got in for just 31. So it will mean I can bring back the key players in my team that are really important. So of the players that of your 31 team, your 10 that are going to play in 31, who are you going to be ditching straight away in 32? Anyone that plays for Everton, Watford, Stoke, probably. Stoke players might get a save execution. So therein lies my thing, right? You know, and it's a valid strategy, and a lot of people are thinking about it.
But I don't think you should pile in on the duds just because they're playing 31.
But the difference is, and if I didn't have my wild card, I would not do this.
Right, okay.
But given that I've got a wild card left and I can play it as soon as that god-awful game week 31 finishes, and I can therefore rebuild my team to what it is now, it puts me in a better position. What I'll probably do is I'll do one transfer this week, hold my transfer next week, so I'll do 2 for 30, and then I'll do 1 for 31, if that makes sense, so that I don't have to do them all straight away, so I can have the duffers for as less time as possible.
Okay.
And then 32...
The duffers?
Yeah.
There's 3 Liverpool players in your duffers, presumably?
Oh, yeah, but they're not duffers. They don't count. They're already in.
Right,
The key defender might go, but Salah and Firmino won't ever go. Game week 32, I'll play my wild card. Game week 34 will be depending upon which fixtures get rescheduled for 34.
Yeah, you see, this is such an important couple of weeks. Yeah.
And therefore, who's playing in which games, it will either be bench boost or more likely that will be my triple captain week. So I'll triple captain in 34.
So where are the doubles? There's doubles in 34.
So the games from 31 probably will be rearranged for 34, but that's not been finalised
yet. Surely your wild card in 32 is you're going to pump that wild card team full of doubles for the 34.
Correct.
And then bench boost 34.
No, triple captain probably 34 because there's going to be more double game weeks in 37.
Yeah, okay.
So my then plan is to free hit in 35 to cover the teams that are out again for the cup.
So confusing. Go on.
And then bench boost in 37 to benefit from the doubles again.
Oh man, and Jeff has just said it. Sorry guys, my brain is full. Boom. This is insane.
Wildcard 32.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to take a picture of this and tweet it, and you guys.
So it'd be 4 free transfers between now and 32. You can name me by writing.
Here's the notes.
Scribble.
Here's the notes. Boom. Right. I'm going to tweet this, guys. Get on @FPL Family on Twitter. I'm going to put this
4
up.
free transfers to be used between now and 31.
It's still not going to make any sense, by the way.
Get wildcard. Come talk to me on Instagram if you want to understand. Wildcard in 32 for game week 32. Triple captain in game week 34. I'll free hit in 35. And then I'll bench boost in 37, which allows me to triple captain in the big game, in the double game weeks. And I think that's the game week where Kane's got Newcastle and I think it might be City.
Right.
So it might not be him that gets it in that game week. I'll have to see what the fixtures look like. Because ideally I want to triple captain Kane, and therefore I need to pick a week where Kane has got a double game week. But it might not necessarily be Kane. I might do it on Salah or somebody like that. But he's not going to get a double game week. So.
Literally not followed that at all. It sounds good. It sounds amazing. I mean, it sounds much better than my plan, which is I'm just trying to get to 31 with a few players and then see what happens.
But the difference is that so I only have this luxury because I held my wild card.
Yeah.
Because that means I can afford.
There's so much that can happen, right? You could get players. You could go into game week 30 with your team starting to take shape with your 10 of your 30, your 10 that are going to play in 31. 2 of them get injured.
Correct.
And then you're screwed.
You are absolutely, which is why I'm going to hold 2 transfers for just before the game week so that I can make sure I don't get in anybody that's going to be injured.
Okay.
But it also means that I don't have to worry about getting in players. I'm going to get in players that I think are the decent options in the teams that are playing.
Okay. But
it means I don't have to hold them longer than a game week.
Okay, we've done more than enough in your transfer strategy. I want to talk about this game week. So what is your transfer for this game week? Captain and jammy pick, please.
Oh.
I bet you've not done a jammy pick.
Haven't.
You've spent so long on these notes that you've not even thought about who your jammy pick is.
Right, I'll just do one now. It's fine. I'll do one now. Let me just look at the fixtures. Who do I think is going to win this game week?
Shall I give you my transfers and captain picks while you're doing that? So for me, Aguero is very, very likely to go out. Kane is very, very likely to come in. I just can't see how you would not have Kane for the next 3, despite the blank in 31. I understand that, and maybe he makes way for somebody else on that 31. I don't know, but you need Kane for the next 3, in my opinion. The -4 that I may spend is to do Sanchez out to Eriksen and do a Spurs double up. That could happen. But I'm also looking at Sanchez for and maybe just keeping him for this game week, and maybe looking to get an Everton player in, either Sigurdsson or Walcott, so that I've got another player for that 31. But the Spurs double up looks good. Looks good to me. I think Spurs are in good form. The fixtures look really great. Gives yourself a bit of a problem down the line in 31 potentially, but then my 31 team is not looking too bad already.
Just don't take out someone who's going to play in 31 for him, and then you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. So Sanchez is, that's what I would do. Sanchez and Aguero for Kane and Eriksen. So I've still got my 2 Stoke, I've got my 3 Liverpool, I've got Foster, I've got Miljovic, so I've got plenty. I've got the foundations of a team for 31. So right now I can afford to do a Sanchez to Eriksen and play the next 3 game weeks.
And still got 3 more transfers left.
So that's what I'm considering.
Okay.
Given that you are going Kane captain, I'm going to go Salah. And we've been here before hundreds of times, the Salah versus Kane thing. I think Kane is absolutely a great option this week, but I also think that Salah is a great option as well. The guy just cannot stop scoring right now. No. So I will be going Salah captain. What do you think? Captains and transfer picks for this week?
I'm going to captain Kane, definitely, this game week. Transfers, so what I haven't yet decided is whether I'm going to make a transfer this game week or not, whether I'm going to hold it, because I think my team is actually looking quite nice for this game week.
Okay.
So I may hold my transfers for this week and then make 2 next week. If I do make a transfer this week,
what are you thinking? Alonso, Alonsel.
Might be.
And it will pain you to take him out because he's been such a.
He's my Everstay.
He's been a legend for you, isn't he? He's been a legend.
I think he's been an Everstay in my team now for about 3 seasons. I don't think I've had a game week without him for.
I cannot. So getting rid of Alonso it's a strategy. Not sure I'd agree with it, but it's a strategy. But getting rid of Alonso and keeping Otamendi.
Well, I haven't decided for definite that's going to happen yet.
That's insane.
But yeah, if I do a transfer this week, it will probably be one of the defensive changes because it's my defence that I'm going to have a real problem with in 31. Yeah, so I might do that one earlier.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, so get on.
You want a jammy pick, don't you? No,
I do want a jammy pick. Yes, I do. Yes, go on.
Okay. So I mean, literally, I've just decided this now. I do fancy Burnley against Southampton. Sorry, Southampton fans. So go Goodmanson.
So why do you fancy Burnley over Southampton? I got you literally just like Goodmanson because we mentioned him a few weeks.
Have we?
Yeah, we mentioned Goodmanson a few times, haven't we?
Well, I fancy Burnley to beat Southampton.
Can I give you a jammy pick?
Sure.
Who's also in my squad, by the way.
Oh God.
So I like Chilwell this week for Leicester. I don't know whether he's under 5% owned. As usual, I'm not prepared for this. But
well, Goodmanson is, so I can have him.
You can have Goodmanson.
Well, let me look at Leicester then.
But so the reason I want to look at Leicester is because I think, as you guys are saying, I think they're criminally overlooked. Not just
you can have him.
1.3. 1.3. Okay, so he's in my squad. I'm playing it this game week because Stoke are terrible away from home. They are terrible. Having said that, I'm also thinking about I've got to play Shaqiri because he's on good form. So Chilwell and Shaqiri in the same team doesn't really add up. But I do like the fact that Chilwell, if he's not a part of that defensive line in Leicester, he often plays kind of a bit wider and a bit sort of more forward. So I think Puel kind of likes him out there as well. So I'm kind of cool with that if he's going to play him a bit further forward. So do I fancy a Leicester clean sheet? Yes, I think I do because Stoke are terrible away from home. Do I fancy Chilwell to get involved going forward as well? Yeah, maybe. At 4.3, expectations are low, but that's what jammy pick is all about. I think Chilwell's is a decent jammy pick.
The thing is, it's so tough this week because you look at these players that, like, for teams that shouldn't. Like last week, I went for a Bournemouth player, didn't I? Because they were playing against who did they have? Huddersfield or somebody in an early kick-off, and it ended up they lost like 4-0 or something ridiculous.
There were some weird results, wasn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, look, there it is. Huddersfield and Bournemouth lost 4-1, and I just think. There is really, you look at the West Brom and Huddersfield game and you think, right, it should be a Huddersfield victory in that game. Probably won't be.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So jammy pick for you, Goodmanson.
Why not?
Jammy pick for me, Chilwell.
You need to remind me about these jammy picks before because I've just spent so long thinking about writing down my strategies that I would be able to tell you.
If you were less worried about writing the notes and getting your blanket, and if I was less bothered about sorting out the camera, making us not look like ghosts, we actually would prepare for this, wouldn't we? But as long as you're warm, dear. Are you nice and warm?
Yes, dear.
Oh well.
I haven't even had my nails done yet.
Can't believe you've got a blanket. All right, guys, that is it. That is it for FPL Family and this live stream. We're going to be fat. Maybe forever if she doesn't forgive me on the blanket thing. At least you have been quite forthcoming with your transfer strategies, unlike me.
I'm not a liar.
Oh, well, I don't think you can say things like that. I wasn't as forthcoming with when I was playing my wildcard as you have been with your transfer strategy. By the way, I don't think any of the guys are any clearer on what your transfer strategy is, but I've put the picture on Twitter, guys.
Honestly,
so go and have a look at that.
People want to talk to me. I'm always available on Instagram for conversations about my fantasy strategy. I can't necessarily tell you it's the right thing, but it's my thing.
So if you are not already, check us out.
What is this?
I put it out there. There you go. You can see it. These are your notes.
I could have at least written it in a more explained way than just my notes.
No, this is the guys want to see the raw notes.
No, they don't.
Do you know what I particularly like about it? What I particularly like about it is the comprehensive analysis of Arsenal versus City. It's on TV. Look, you can just see it just says TV.
No, I just for a preview video, I just write down the matches, and I like to know who's playing on TV.
I just love there's all this transfer strategy here. Look, strategy in this and out, cross this out, cross that. What's going on Arsenal versus City, Sam? It's on TV.
No, I don't even notice on that game. Do
Absolute class. Absolute class. All right, guys. So if you're not following us already on
next
Twitter,
week I'll write down the channel for you as well.
The channel?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, I'll tell you whether it's on BT or Sky, shall I?
Oh yeah, definitely do that. Yeah. I'm sure there's loads of websites out there that will tell you where the
yeah, I've got a good one. If anyone
but...
wants a list of where your fixtures are being shown, I can pass you a good website.
So guys, follow us on Twitter at FPL Family as well as on Instagram. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button if you like what we do, and hit that like button as well. So YouTube, and you would have seen this on Twitter a bit, you guys, you'll have seen that YouTube has changed some of the rules around whether you can monetize this stuff now, right? So you have to have 1,000 subscribers total, and you have to have over 4,000 viewing hours in the last year. Now, we've not been going a year, so I don't know when that kicks in. I guess you've got to be at least a year old.
4,000 hours? I mean, I reckon I could talk for 4,000 hours.
You could, probably talk for 4,000 hours. You probably could.
Just about my strategy.
Yeah. So YouTube has changed some of the rules. It's not a massive concern for us because the monetization of this stuff is not the main reason we do it. But if you would like to subscribe, that'd be cool to do that. A lot of you guys are talking in the chat about the poll. No poll tonight, guys. My fault, because as usual I forgot. I was trying to set this new camera up, trying to make us look a little bit less pasty. Forgot about the polls. So we will sort all that stuff out for Sunday when we do our next reaction to Game Week 28 video. We'll have polls, we'll be all singing or dancing, we'll have the camera set up.
For 1 week before
bit of makeup
away.
on, you'll have the blanket on, everything. Hot water bottle, everything. And then as we said...
I will wear some makeup so I don't look quite as ghostly. And I'll have had my hair and my nails done and everything.
Wow, yes, wow. Because we
like
are...
a new woman.
We're actually out on Friday night, are we not? We're going to see the script at the O2, aren't we? So we have got a bit of a night out on Friday, and you're having your hair and nails done. So come on the stream on Sunday. You're going to be looking even more radiant than you normally do, darling. Even less of a ghost than we look this evening.
But still talking nonsense.
Of course, because this is the FPL family. So, guys, we will see you on Sunday. Thank you for tuning in, as ever. Leave your comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe button. Follow us at FPL Family on Twitter and on Instagram. And we will see you on Sunday. Until then, all the best.
Take care, guys.